Tigers are in first place. They lost 2 of 3 over the weekend against the sneaky good Rangers team. Any valid concerns? I want to go through a few things, John, and we could take the phone calls, 248-539-9797. We've got Detroit Lions schedule Mad Libs at 7:02. We'll start with Flaherty. Level of concern there. His ERA is getting close to 5. His fastball is uber hittable, and the strength of this team is built on pitching. The backbone of this team is pitching. It's now Flaherty. It's now a Mize injury. It's Job, whose ERA is also near 5. How big a concern?
Well, I know, obviously, Casey Mize last year missed a couple of months because of a hamstring injury. They were very clear in saying that this is a minor strain. Mm-hmm. And I think that because of that history, they're just going to be ultra, or to use a term you just used, uber careful with him in regards to making sure it doesn't get worse. Knowing that Flaherty is pitching the way he is, Mize has been great. And so they want to make sure that they don't miss him any more than just a couple of starts. I am curious because I know Cobb threw a couple of innings the other day.
Yeah.
When he is activated, how do they use him? Do they mix him in with Flaherty? And I don't know, because we always hear about the rhythm of a starting pitcher. You know, every 5 games or every 5 days, whatever it is, they want to stay in that rhythm. Flaherty has not found his rhythm. So do they alternate? Do they give Cobb a couple of starts and see how he does? Do they put Flaherty on the back burner for a little bit? Is he going to follow the path of, not the same path as Kenta Maeda in terms of being eventually DFA'd, but is he going to be that long reliever?
Who?
Flaherty. Do they because he hasn't been good as a starter this year, do they possibly push him into the bullpen to see if he can find his rhythm there, and then eventually, more injuries are going to happen. More guys are going to miss starts.
I do wonder, is he dealing with something? I mean, the velocity down is typically a red flag, and then you're starting to see him get hittable because, look, he's got 50 strikeouts on the season in 41 innings. He's got the stuff. That curveball, I think, has been his best pitch, but the breaking stuff works. But the thing is, people figure out quickly if you can't spot the fastball, or if the fastball is a beach ball, teams are going to sit on it. Hitters are going to sit on it, and I think that's what's starting to happen right now. If there's an injury, well, you want to get it right.
Right. I'm not concerned about them continuing to win. I think that will happen. The question is, what are they going to do with Jack Flaherty? Or what is Jack Flaherty going to do to right the ship, right his ship?
Job throws tonight. His ERA is almost 5. And again, we're grading on a curve. This is his first season in the bigs. Right. But suddenly a few dominoes are starting to fall. If you go, well, Flaherty's not the 2. Mize, you could argue, was their second best pitcher, is now injured. And suddenly a staff of 5 is looking like a staff of Skubal and, are we doing this again? Chaos.
They're going to be just fine. And Job, we knew that it was going to be a roller coaster. Mm-hmm. And it could be a roller coaster throughout the course of a game. And we've seen him start off first pitch, home run, and then all of a sudden look good through another 4 innings. I think that's just a young pitcher learning to be a pitcher at the major league level. Flaherty is probably the biggest concern.
Okay.
But they've got Montero that they can put in there for a few starts.
And to your point, Cobb can't be too far away.
Right.
You can Band-Aid this up, get guys right, whether that's health or figuring it out with Flaherty. Yeah, I'm not panicking. I wonder if these are valid concerns at this point, because the backbone of this team is starting pitching. It's the thing that we knew was going to be there. It's the thing that sets everything else up.
But we also knew that at times injuries were going to happen.
That's why you have the depth.
That's why you have the depth. That's why you have A.J. Hinch, Chris Fetter, to be able to insert pitching chaos for a couple of weeks. You don't have to do it for 2 months at the end of the season. At least that's not what our vision is at this time.
Okay, so minimal concern right now with starting pitching. What about Jace Young? He's hitting exactly 100. He has 0 extra base hits on the season. That third base, the black hole that is third base, valid concern?
Yeah, very, very concerned. Now, his glove has been good. There's no concern there. But yeah, you got to have some production at the plate. It has to be more than just a couple of walks or some singles. And Vierling, I know there was an update yesterday in regards to They are trying to get him more throws, and they're not so concerned about what he does at the plate. He's been fine there, and he'll be fine when he comes back up. It is when he has throws from the outfield or has throws from third base, managing the shoulder, the arm, and making sure that that's going to be 100%, that there's nothing more there to be concerned about, or how much are they going to have to manage the throws that he has when he does come to the big leagues?
Well, you don't want to deal with that either, because you're right, corner, outfield, and third base, you have to have an arm. You have to be able to make throws, and you have to get guys out. The other thing is you could put Javi to third, but he's played so well in center, you want to keep him in center, but you just don't have that guy hitting at third base right now.
Right, and then what do you do at center? Is that going to be just Riley Green?
I think they're going to keep Javi in center. I think maybe it's more McKinstry at third. If this young stuff continues, you're going to have to send him back down.
Yes, and now, so Vierling, I've as I understand it, the earliest he can come back up would be the 19th of May.
Okay,
they are going to have to activate him by the 24th. So they've got some decisions to make as we sit here on the 12th.
The third thing I wrote down for concern is good pitching took the Tigers' offense back to reality. And the numbers have kind of dipped a little bit for these bats. I mean, they were off to such a hot start. Yeah. Are we starting to settle where water is level? They're not a top 5 offense like we had seen.
Well, did we think that they were going to remain a top 5 offense? No. I mean, a top 10 offense, sure. I mean, you look at their run differential, and it's there. Now, part of that is pitching. Which is the strength of the Tigers. We've already talked about that with Flaherty and with Mize and with Reese Olson yesterday and Jackson Jobe. I think their hitting is going to be just fine. It especially when Vierling does come up. I do believe he will make an appearance at some time at the end of the month.
I do too.
Jace Young goes down. Now all of a sudden your hitting is back a little bit. We didn't think that Zach McKinstry was going to stay at a 315 level.
We also don't think Javi's going to hit 300 for the season.
No. So,
some of this is going to come back
may
down.
Pull back down a little bit, but it's going to be still a matter of A.J. Hinch mixing and matching and creating matchups that are beneficial to Javi, to McKinstry, to Spencer Torkelson, Keith.
Jay Henwally's still up here. Yeah. I got to get him going a little bit. I don't know. I look at it like this. The concern is when you face really good pitching, most offenses are going to come back down to earth. Sure. This is the type of thing you're going to run into in the playoffs. So as we've gotten so excited about this baseball team, we've kind of cut in line a little bit. We're going, how would you like to see this team in the playoffs? There still may be a big need for a bat when we get later into the summer, and maybe this stretch is showing that. The big concern to me, though, is the pitching, because I do think it's like the Lions' offensive line. It's the bedrock. It's the foundation. If the Lions lost Taylor Decker and Frank Ragnow, we go, well, I know they got Sewell, and I know Hank Fraley's a good coach, like Chris Fetter's a good coach, and they'll figure it out. But it does concern you if the offensive line for the Lions wasn't playing up to their standard, and the rotation right now for the Tigers has had a noticeable step back.
Well, and that's where it's up to Fetter and A.J. Hinch to create matchups and be aware if Flaherty's only going to be able to give you, and I know he wasn't good through, one, but he has been good at times through 4.5.
Yeah.
And so I think they just
I'm
need
worried
to be.
Teams are figuring out his fastball. That's my issue.
Okay, well, so moving forward, if that becomes an issue, then they're going to have to find a way to deal with that. When the last time he started, and I can't remember where that game was, where he went for 5 innings and then gave up a home run, and then that's when things fell apart. They just need to be more aware of when the signals are that he is losing what he does have.
Sure.
So Dickerson pointed out, I was listening to the radio broadcast on Saturday, and he's like, he just doesn't have his stuff tonight by the 3rd home run. Yeah. And Dan probably noticed that on the 2nd home run and just didn't want to overreact. I'm with you on the fastball. I put this in my prep last Monday, remember?
Yeah, I know.
That I had Flaherty concerns. And so therefore it's validated because he had another bad start. I think his stuff's easy to figure out. I think he's the guy that gets a bad hitting team healthy. Texas came in here struggling, and he was meatballing it. So going forward, even last week when we did the buy-sell, I had Casey Mize potentially getting to the number 2.
Oh, yeah, I saw
partially
that,
because don't trust Jack Flaherty. I think he's more of a 3. He's an innings eater. You need him. He's good. Every team has a Jack Flaherty on it in my mind. And
on this staff right now, he's the 4.
I am getting, and this is going to be a major overreaction, I'm getting some Jordan Zimmerman vibes.
Oh, well, at least it's not a 5-year deal.
Right, exactly.
Whatever Zimmerman's deal
I
is.
want to point out a couple things. So last year they were 5th worst team in stolen bases. This year they're the worst. Oh. And some of that's Meadows and Vierling.
Yeah.
But I think just the moving base runners when you're not getting big extra base hits becomes more of a problem. And then also with Job, maybe not to overreact quite yet.
Yeah. I think tonight's a big start, though. He's had back-to-back outings that I think are below his standard, and he's got a Boston lineup coming in tonight. Want to see how he does. He
did pitch in Colorado for the first time.
Yeah.
And the ball doesn't move the way you normally think it will.
Well, it carries, too.
In the altitude, so maybe get cut a little slack there. Plus, he's a rookie.
No, I know, but if he's one of the 5 starting pitchers and starting pitching is your strength, and you got a couple guys struggling / injured, tonight's a big spot for Jackson Jobe. We'll take some phone calls, read some ticket text. They're still in first place. Nobody's doing panic radio this morning, but are there any concerns you have with this team? It's 97.1.
Got home yesterday, mowed the lawn, saw the sign in the lawn that, Natural Way Lawn and Tree Service had been out to treat it, and I tell you what, it looks beautiful. No weeds, no crabgrass. You want that same service, you want that same lawn, give Natural Way Lawn and Tree Service a call, 888-GET-GREEN, or on the web at naturalwaylawn.com. Still available. If you purchase a full lawn program, you're going to get free grub control, but you got to mention my name along with 97.1 the ticket. And if you want a weed-free lawn, you don't want crabgrass, still not too late to treat it. You got to do it now, though. And dandelions. They're going to rob your lawn of water and nutrients. And if they go to seed, it's just going to spread like wildfire across your grass and across your lawn. So make sure you take care of that now. Give them a call. Call now for a beautiful weed-free lawn all summer long. They're not going to give you a runaround. They're not going to tell you got something wrong this week, and then a couple of weeks, hey, we got to fix this. What do you want to do? No, they just fix the problem. It's locally owned and operated for over 35 years. Michigan-owned, Michigan employees, and Michigan families. They're involved in local charities. So keep your money locally here in the state of Michigan. That number again, 888-GET-GREEN, or on the web at naturalwaylawn.com. Natural Way Lawn and Tree Service. Get green, stay green with Natural Way.